Honkai Star Rail ever since release has consistently updated its gameplay and story almost equally, in ways that has satisfied the people who want to get into the story of Star Rail and its vast lore, and also added modes for the players that want to engage deeply into the gameplay side of Star Rail. But the recent event revealed a lot for the new story, but also forgot to reveal something pretty massive for the endgame. Golden Gears was revealed in the event and made it seem like it would be another addition to the simulated universe, like the previous Swarm Disaster, but it added a feature that would change the game forever. Depending on how we look at it, this change coming was a sign of the developers really listening to the community, or the developers starting to raise the bar for the difficulty. We first learned of this inside this post, revealing a lot about the Golden Gears post-life event. It revealed how the bosses in Plane 3 in the Golden Gears has the ability to use different path resonance, and yes, different, so it depends on the path you pick. It really shakes the game in a way only we players have before. It really makes me appreciate Hoyoverse for listening in the surveys. This came from the surveys with one player saying it's too easy, but also scares me and how they can make the game a bit more difficult without knowing it. It may also show a shift in how they're designing future ornaments and relics, to better accommodate the increased difficulty. But considering they're willing to listen to the community for the difficulty, I can see that being less of an issue. This would allow the bosses to deal more damage to us in the simulated universe, but also give the developers a new way to boost the damage of future bosses and even story bosses, which is kind of scary. There are so many unknowns with this feature and its role in the game going forward. Is it going to be limited to the bosses inside the simulated universe, or is it going to be implemented into the main game? There are so many ways the game could implement this concept. Since in the story mode, we have our own version where we get extra help from someone outside the party, the giant robot in Belbog and Dan Feng in the Zhenshu Lafu. But the enemies now have a very similar mechanic to us. We've seen a similar mechanic already in some bosses, but a much more smaller scale, with bosses like Akolia, Svarog, Kafka, having a similar mechanic where they can summon or even trigger some kind of effect, where they get some kind of boost to their damage or even heal them. But this one can vary and it's in our control, and maybe a key reason to choose a different path in the simulated universe. From experiencing the update myself, it's hell, but it's a really good kind, where it makes me super excited on how I'm gonna deal with the problem. Can you imagine during the big boss fight of Pinakani that they use a path resonance? And if past bosses like Fantalia using a path resonance to heal would be so exciting but very annoying. This could change boss fights in a major way, and makes you think what kind of builds we need in the coming future. This means we could get even more insane artifacts in the future to build our characters with, to deal with these future enemies. It may also hint at how they're designing future kits for characters and future relics and light cones. From experiencing these changes myself, they hurt, and makes me even more scared of the RNG gods when I build my characters. This is probably the biggest change to the game's endgame since launch. It's scary how much more difficult the game is going to be, but it doesn't seem too much. It makes me more excited to build more characters. The game systems already support it, like auto-farming, just teleporting to different locations for what you need. It makes it a lot less overwhelming, and makes me even more excited to build more characters, and giving more value to characters outside of their designs or rarity, because this could possibly give more value to past characters and newer ones. This is such an exciting place to be in the game. This is such an exciting place to be for the game, and we even have Pinakani the next update. That's gonna be exciting.